Howdy everybody, I'd like to present a tour today of my personal van. This is a van that my girlfriend and I have used for almost 2 years now, and along with our dog. Backstory, this van was actually originally purchased with the intent of turning it into a show van or a demo van for a local mountain bike fest. But then when COVID started, that festival got canceled. One thing led to another, and eventually just decided to keep the van. I really don't like anything on the internet being called the best or perfect, so instead of saying that, I think I'd rather just say a couple things about how I like to camp and how I like to use my van. And if that's something that resonates with you, then perhaps this is a build that would work well for you. First, I like my van experience to be simple. And I don't mean this in some kind of, self-help, internet perfection way. I just really don't like dealing with a lot of shit. I don't want to think about maintaining or winterizing this van. I want to decide to use it at 5 p.m. in the afternoon and be on the road 30 minutes later. So it's just a nice simple build that doesn't have a lot of things that can go wrong or a lot of things that have to be looked after. That's what I want in a van. Second, this van is always something that's transporting me to another activity. We're always using the van as a vessel to go climbing or get up in the mountains, and we're not actually spending the weekend in the van. I think this kind of can make a difference on what amenities and commodities you decide you want to have. Basically, I want a comfortable bed. I want to be warm and dry, have a place to cook. But, I don't necessarily need a shower. I don't need internet. I don't need a TV, microwave. It is basically just like a portable tent, a very portable, luxurious tent. That said, we did get an air conditioner in it because we like to leave our dog as he's getting older in it when we're doing kind of longer days in the mountains. So here's the van. It's a 136-inch high roof Promaster. This is a 2019 model. Being a personal project, I was fairly obsessed to make this thing lightweight, but I wasn't really sure how light I could get it. I've watched a lot of videos of people talking about how you really need to be aware of how heavy a van can turn out to be, but they don't actually seem to do anything to make them lightweight. Thankfully, my girlfriend captured the day I went to get this thing weighed when it was all finished up, and I was pretty excited to say the least.
Good job, Pavolito.
I can't believe it. That's insane. That means I'm about 900 pounds totally empty.
Huh?
Because I've got 20 pounds of propane and 6 gallons of water. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I can't fucking believe it.
That's what it says. I think I did the right numbers.
What's the first number?
Their gross weight, 5720.
4780, yeah.
Yeah, Papa, I did it on my calculator.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
That's good.
That was a lot of fucking work. Yep, so the entire conversion without water or propane is around 900 pounds. Yeah, I was really happy with that weight, with everything that's in it. The outside is super basic. It's just got a couple windows and a few utility items on the wall. On the roof, I've got 4 100-watt solar panels along with an exhaust fan and the condenser for our air conditioner unit. Looking underneath the van, we've got the Propex heater mounted underneath there, and then we've got 2 battery boxes just in front of the rear axle. In each of them, there's a 200 amp hour Victron lithium battery. The battery boxes are wrapped in insulation and have heating pads so that they can be used in the winter. Coming around to the back of the van, we've got the garage space. On the insides of the doors, we've got a little bit of just storage nets and little cubbies, as well as our dartboard, which just provides some entertainment when we're camping. Once in the cargo zone, the area has a light so that we can sort through gear in the evenings. And then on the left side, we've got most of the electrical components housed inside it, as long as some of the electrical controls. And then on the other side, I've got a cabinet with a 30-pound propane tank. If you haven't used these fiberglass tanks, I think they're just really nice. They're lighter weight, and you can just see how much propane you have left inside it. Moving around to the sliding door, we've got the main living area. This is a pretty standard layout with the kitchen behind the driver's seat and the bed behind that. Both of the front seats do swivel, which helps the van feel a bit roomier. But to make it, just a better hangout spot, the front of the bed also converts to a sofa. To convert from bed to sofa mode takes about 30 seconds. And honestly, when I build vans, I find any procedure in it that takes any longer than that just starts to feel like a chore. Building these cushions so they would all line up is probably one of the more difficult sewing projects I've ever done. The bed system itself was a lot of fun to build. I'd never made wood hinges like this before, so that was just a fun project. And then there's a lot of things you don't see going on, like foam core panels to keep the weight as low as possible. Within the bench and kind of bench area, we've also got a little swivel table attached. These are one of those lagoon tables. Then we've got this pull-out drawer with a cassette toilet in it. Above the toilet and underneath the cushion, there's a hidden lock box for things like laptops and wallets. And then underneath the actual bench, there's a sliding door so you can access stuff in the garage area. Above the foot area of the bed, there is an overhead cabinet. These doors were built to be extremely light, so these hinges are actually just little spring-loaded hinges, but they have no problem holding these doors up, which is nice. And then moving on to the kitchen, which is sort of the more striking part of this whole van. The wood is actually air-dried black walnut that a friend of mine harvested in Washington. I really wanted to, do respect to how beautiful I think this wood is. So I tried to keep these slabs all in one piece, kind of continuous grain across the whole thing. And I've got just little thin strips of black epoxy poured between the slabs to kind of hold the whole thing together. Most of the storage in the kitchen is with drawers, along with a little open area below the sink. And then the fridge itself is actually a drawer style as well, which I think just helps to really pack and then find things inside it. Across the countertop, we've got stainless steel around the stove and the faucet. And then we've got a walnut butcher block in the middle. I really like these wall-mounted faucets. I just think that they help the counter space feel a little cleaner. There's a 20-gallon water tank in the back of this cabinet, and then I've actually grown really fond of foot pumps the more I've built vans. I think, by design, they just cause you to save water because you can't just leave it running. And from my experience, if you manage to freeze it in the winter a little bit, they're quite a bit more forgiving. And then above the kitchen, we've got another overhead cabinet, and this also houses the stereo controls as well as a few USB ports and stuff like that. So that's about it. And the more I've built vans, the more I've kind of found that just putting as many bells and whistles inside a van just kind of leads to more and more things that could potentially break. So I've kind of decided that in my own personal vans, I really prefer just a pretty simple but well-built and well-executed design. And I just enjoy the simplicity of it, and it's been a great adventure vehicle. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Wasting no time to get dirty. Immediately into the river and then the dirt. So proud.